Good afternoon. Welcome to the GeekyKOOL presents Geeky Cinephiles. I'm Larry the Professor, and over here is our good friend Joe. How you doing
Hello.
today, Joe?
Can't complain. How about you?
Good, good. Well, today's mission was to oh, hold on just a second. All right. So I was trying to pull open our stream and it was overriding my audio there. So I apologize for that. So sorry about that, people. That's not usually how we like to start off the show. But Joe and I are doing, I'm doing really well, Joe. How are you doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
Doing
This
well.
was a
Great.
fun Halloween type movie.
Yeah. Today we're talking about a cult classic from 1993 with Army of Darkness, which is the third movie in the Evil Dead films, which later was made. The Evil Dead also went on to have a series on, I don't know if it's HBO or Showtime, one of
Yep.
those. Yeah, Stars. It was on Stars. There you go. So
Was that any?
it,
I don't want to derail you, but was that series any good?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it. I didn't get to watch it all because I didn't have stars. But yeah, if you like the style from Army of Darkness, it actually, since he goes back to present time at the end of the movie. Spoiler alert. So, and then it picks up with him in S-Mart. So,
Okay. Okay.
and also stars Lucy Lawless from Xena fame
Okay. I
in
didn't know that.
Battlestar Galactica fame. So she is in it. So yeah, it's pretty fun. It can be very bloody, a lot of gore to that show. So if you're not one that likes gore, that's not really the series for you. But we're going to talk about the third movie, the Evil Dead movies. They go with the trope cabin in a woods, and they find a book that has all of the spells from basically the death god, and you go in and somebody goes in and like, oh, hey, I know how to speak this, and so then starts speaking it and causing these spirits to come alive in the movies. This, which my understanding is, Evil Dead 1 and 2 are basically the same movie, just the sequel is just a remake of it. And I've not really, I've watched one and I've seen parts of two, and it looks like it's the exact same movie, and that's what I've heard. Army of Darkness takes up at the end of the movie of Evil Dead, where basically everybody's dead but Ash. Ash is um, the
Yeah.
girl that lives at the end of all the movies. It's actually Ash. So that's part of the joke, was you got a guy who's doing that. So
Yeah.
he's there and he's defeated all the spirits. He has cut off his hand because they started to possess his hand, so he cut it off, and then he actually mounted it to a chainsaw. He had a shotgun from S-Mart, which is where he works, which is like a Kmart or some sort of. It would be like Walmart today. So basically, he's all set to go. He's defeated the bad guys, and then they come back and they pull him back to the past where the book is. So that's where we pick up, as he's been pulled into 1300 AD. So during the Dark Ages time, and pulled into, right. Basically, he comes crashing down to the earth along with his car and some other things from the future, and he's right in the middle of a war between two kingdoms. He gets captured, taken in, along with the leader of the opposing army. Gets captured. He's lumped in with them, even though he looks completely different than everybody else, not dressed the same. He's got this, got this gun that nobody knows what to do with, and a chainsaw nobody knows what to do with, and that starts our adventure of him in this fantasy setting, very much a dark fantasy. It's not hobbits and wizards. This is a very kind of dark, gothic kind of horror setting with the demons from the first movies, and then he he ends up proving himself by beating a demon and basically being told that he is the chosen one to be able to go get this book from where it's being captivated or held captive in this cemetery. What could go wrong with that, right? So that's the gist of the movie is he's going on this pursuit to go get this book, and then he comes back and he has to fight off a army of skeletons. It's like, oh yeah, surely surely my guys here can hold down from an army of skeletons. And yeah, of course, that's part of the whole adventure. So Bruce Campbell stars in this movie. His over-the-top performances from The Evil Dead are even amplified more. There's some absurdity humor to it. It's very comical at points. It's also very much graphic and gory as far as the gore part. It's not graphic as in sex, but it's graphic as in with the gore. You've got the dead creatures coming to life and doing all sorts of stuff. There's some pretty fun humor in that, as I mentioned. So I would call it a horror comedy dark fantasy film.
Yeah.
Anything else I'm missing that we need to recap there? That gets people started with what the movie is. So if you want to see this movie, this is really where you're going in. You're going in with it being kind of this setting. For me, the Evil Dead movies, the first two really weren't my style so much, other than I like Bruce Campbell. This, because you put it in a fantasy setting and you focus a little more on the humor, really made this a fan favorite for me. I enjoyed this movie back when it was released in '93. Saw it in the theaters. I think in like the the cheap theater run when it made it to the dollar movie thing back in the '90s. I think that's where I saw it. But I did see it in the theaters. So, but it's been a while. So we wanted to revisit this and talk about it, especially with Halloween being later in the week. We want to talk a little scary movie action here for us. So tell me your thoughts on it, Joe.
It's very, very hard to make a scary movie funny,
Right.
and they blend both of them very well. The director Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, his timing. It was one of those movies that when I saw it probably 15 years ago, and I was like, where have I been all this time? Where was this movie?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's fun. It's an adventure. It's scary. It's gory. It's very quotable. So
Yeah.
many
Some
quotes.
great quotes in that movie. Yeah.
In fact, if you say that some of the quotes around other people and they respond, they've probably seen it as well. So
Right. Right. Yeah. Like any good quotable movie, the fans of it come out when somebody drops one of the lines. Um, Probably the most famous one is "This is my boomstick," holding a shotgun.
all right, you primitive screwheads, listen up. This is my boomstick. This is a shotgun.
Yep, it's
They've
a
never,
double barrel
they've never
shotgun.
seen
So yeah,
shotgun before. Yeah, yeah.
from S-Mart. So S-Mart was the store he worked at. So he talks about that jokingly all through the movie. And once they get sent home, which is really funny because you're like, your girlfriend and all your friends just got killed in this cabin,
Yeah.
and then you're brought to this this medieval time, and you're treated kind of like a king. In fact, they even mentions that he at the end that like I would have been a king. Hail to
Yeah.
the king, baby.
For the
So
king, baby.
yeah, so yeah, just some fun quotable lines, some craziness in it. So, what do
Yeah.
you think of the? So, there's a whole bunch of scenes with skeletons, and what did you think of? Because the graphics, what we've got today compared to what we had in '93, what you could do technology wise, how do you feel that's held up over the years with the skeletons?
This movie's held up great. I mean, they did some interesting stuff in 30 years ago with
Yeah,
uh, it's claymation, but it's stop motion. Um, and yeah, the makeup was incredible. The skeletons and all the evil characters was they did it really well.
They did. I agree. I look at it and compare it. Now, it was years before when you have like Sinbad and the Seven Seas and those Harryhausen movies that
Yeah.
had that stop motion skeletons and stop motion. This is way beyond that. I even think of some of the movies around that same time period having some of that where you look at it and go, okay. I mean, that's the best they had,
Yeah.
and you just deal with it. But this, I watched it and I was surprisingly happy with how well that part had aged with the special effects. Mostly, it did really well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
what do
Especially
you?
when you've got, a scene there with his face, and all you can see is his face, and you've got little guys popping out of it, and um, did a really good job with that too. I mean, that was animation. It was
Yeah,
cool and creepy.
it was cool and creepy. I agree. So, what do you think about the plot? The plot to this movie.
The genius thing about horror is you don't really have to have a plot. That's the great thing. There's always this huge suspension of disbelief, that it's from
That's
another
true.
world, time, and it was interesting. They mixed it in. They mixed in, yeah, the old school kind of Braveheart type feel with modern weaponry and yeah, watching Ash, the main character, respond to the people who didn't know what he was or where he came from was pretty funny. he,
I agree.
and he
Well,
was frustrated with him. It wasn't like he was happy to see someone. He was he was frustrated with them and tried to get away from every chance he could. They didn't like him, and but yeah, the plot is interesting. How they uh, they weave in time travel essentially, right?
yep, they do.
Um, and then you've got your typical hero, but he's kind of the anti-hero because
Yeah,
he doesn't
right.
want to be the hero at first.
Nope. Not until towards the end of the movie when the girl he's been with in this movie, the female lead, gets taken by the demon arm or the skeleton army that the Deadites army. That's what it was. The Deadite army that took her, and then he decides he wants to train the people to fight at that point because he wants to get her back since she was still because he was determined that they were going to send them back to the future, even though he'd kind of messed things up. So.
Yeah, yeah,
Which is one of the funny scenes is they tell him when he gets to the book he's going to have to recite this three-word thing, and he
very important. You
very
have to say it.
important. You got to say it specifically this way. And the guy who's like the wizard of the area tells him what the three words are. He repeats it to him. Goes, okay, now say it again. No, I've got it. And then he gets the book and he can't think of the last word. It begins with N. What is it? And so he kind of mumbles it and thinks that that's going to work. And of course, that actually brings alive all of the dead at that point. So,
Yep.
which is really funny that he caused that. Then he's trying to get him to send him back because he's such an anti-hero. He's like, I don't, not my fight. I want out of here. I've already fought these crazy things. I'm gonna do all this just to get this stupid book for you. You're not even grateful. So just send me back. And then the girl is taken. He's like, okay, fine. I'll. And then of course it has that montage of teaching the village how to fight that you've seen in a million movies. It's
Yeah.
done like every episode of the A Team. It was done in all the samurai movies where they're teaching the people to fight against the evil army coming in, the lone
Yep.
samurai sort of thing. You,
Yep.
you see that sort of thing in westerns and all. Just um, all sorts of movies. So you have that, but it's done in such a way it's kind of comical when it's being done. And then he's teaching them how to make explosives by making gunpowder, which is really funny. Like, where did you know how to make gunpowder? I mean,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so part of it, the plot kind of reminded me of Mark Twain's um, the Yankee in King Arthur's Court.
Huh.
I don't know if you've read the book or seen the different films that are
Which
based
one
on
was
it. Yankee and King Arthur's Court,
it? No, I never
or
have.
Yankee. Isn't that what the name of it is? I think it is Yankee. They call it, yeah, yeah, and he's from Connecticut and somehow gets swept back to the past, and so he's teaching him how to do all these things and shows him how to make bicycles and shows him how to do all this stuff in the past. But the plot kind of reminded me a little bit of that. So you're like, okay, they're borrowing from this on purpose, but they're
Yeah,
doing it with this character who's at times not even likable. I mean, you cheer
yeah,
for him, and he's funny, but he can be quite a jerk. And
yeah.
especially when he tells the girl that he's, like, look, um, I'm going to leave. They're going to send me back, and she's like, but I thought you would stay because of, I thought we had something here. He's like, oh. No, baby. What about all the sweet things you whispered in my ear during this? Like, that was just pillow talk, baby. Get away. So,
Just maybe.
yeah. So you're like, oh, all right. Well, what a guy you're being there. So,
Yeah.
um, but no, it's hard to quantify this movie. The plot actually, I thought, hit certain points that you needed that were a lot of fun. Like I said, you brought in some of that. He's from the future, so he's teaching you how to do those things. You do the fight montage. You've got the humor that's laid in it. You've got some typical horror aspects of it. The girl's taken and converted to be a demon, that he fell for. And at one point, she shows up at the end battle and is facing off against him. And she says, "You found me beautiful once." And he's like, "Now you're just ugly." And he kicks her off the tower into the ground. Yeah. And you're like, oh, wow. Um,
Um,
so,
so,
so yeah, it's not, of course, it's not Shakespeare being written, but I thought the plot
right.
was pretty good for meshing in what you do there, and you wanting to hit
Yeah.
those comical beats. I thought the plot did a great job of making a movie where not only you want to see it when it came out, but you want to see it again and again at times. Like, it's
Yeah.
one of my typical watch movies for the Halloween period, just because it's fun.
Hey,
Um,
man.
fun, and you get the horror aspect, but then it's still a fun movie. So,
Yeah.
well,
Done
let's.
done by the director of Darkman, which I haven't ever seen. You ever seen
Oh,
Darkman?
yes. Yeah, we
Yep.
should do Darkman sometime because Darkman
Okay.
is a weird movie. Fun, but
Yeah.
weird. Yes. Darkman, and of course Spider Man, the original Spider Man trilogy. Sam Raimi directed a ton of other things. Sam Raimi's a pretty big director. Started off really indie. Of course, that's where the roots of this came from, was his first indie.
Right.
My understanding was the first Evil Dead movie, they were all college buddies, and
Okay.
so he brought him in to do this film on a shoelace budget for the Evil Dead movie, just because just because they were studying film and acting and all this other stuff, so they decided to make their own. Um, the
They actually went over. They went over budget.
Yeah,
So Bruce and Sam and another of the producer had to put $1 million each of their own money to finish it.
that's crazy. It
That's how
must be
you know
nice
you
to,
like
yeah,
spend a
right.
million dollars.
It must be nice to have enough money for $1 million to do that too.
Yeah.
I would love to be able to put that up for a movie, but I don't have that money. So,
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
right.
Sam Raimi, and I saw it in Evil Dead 1 and 2. He's got this really interesting style
Yeah.
of it's an action sequence of you are looking at it as like the animal on the ground type
Right.
view,
Right. Oh
people
yeah.
running through, but it looks like the camera is the animal. Or to show chaos, to quick zoom and then pull out, quick
Yep.
zoom and then pull out. It does. It adds chaos. It adds speed. It adds some scariness to it. That was one of the first things I noticed. Like, man, I mean, you can tell that this guy is a filmmaker
He
with shots
is.
like that.
And he, their love for this genre of horror really pushed. So he's looking at what can I do to add to that? What can I add that and to make the spirits that were coming in the Evil Dead movies, and of course also a little bit here in Army of Darkness. You're using those ground shots like that to kind of show that the spirits are hovering and coming after you and making you think they're coming very fast for you. So yeah.
Yeah. Pretty incredible. I liked it a lot. I guess they filmed during the heat or during the height of summer in Hollywood, and so took 100 days to film. But I guess they filmed a lot of it at night because
Right.
it was, which
Well,
just make it.
and the shots are done. A lot of it is dark, dreary shots anyway you're doing, so that makes sense that you would do it that way.
Yeah, they
So
filmed
yeah,
near the Mojave Desert.
right.
Universal, the company that released it, didn't like the ending. They wanted an alternate ending. Um, and then the Motion Picture Association originally gave it an NC-17 rating.
Which would have killed it
Would have killed it, yeah.
because at that point you just didn't give something an NC-17 rating and people show up. So
Yeah.
did do you know what the alternative ending was going to be? What the studio wanted?
Yeah, it has Ash battling a she demon in a department store in the present. The alternative ending has Ash imbibing a secret potion that would make him sleep for a century for each drop of the potion that he drinks. He then goes to a cave, goes to sleep. However, he drank one too many drops and wakes up to find a barren post-apocalyptic landscape
Huh.
in London. Yeah.
So they're trying to, like, okay, hey, we got this movie over here called Terminator 2. Hey, let's do
Yeah.
something with that where everything is post apocalyptic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
interesting.
so here's a fun fact. So his chainsaw hand is always
Mm-hmm.
smoking. They ran a tube up his pant leg and up to the chainsaw that pumped that smoke in or that
Right.
fog in. Like, man, that's really cool. That's, like,
Right.
what do you
Right.
think of that? Pretty
I
cool.
actually knew that they did that one. I knew that bit of
Yeah.
trivia there before. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were trying to make it look like the chainsaw was running with it being smoking all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
That's a great trick. I love that. A couple of
Yeah.
my friends are movie creators, and one of them is a director, award-winning director of several things. But she made a horror movie that she actually started writing in high school. And of course, she had to refine it. But it got released in a very small run. I know here in Springfield and some other places. A few years ago. She did a great job, but she's the one who told me that because she knows all the little tricks and trades and being a filmmaker and liking horror. She knows how to do the makeup to make it look right and how to do all the little things that they do. So yeah, so we were talking about that at one point. So yeah, Brittany, Brittany, that's you, girl. If you're listening to this, then I'm calling you out there. Brittany
What's
Greer.
her last name?
Greer,
What,
Greer. Um,
do you remember the names of the movies that she?
most of them were small. I'm trying to remember the horror one. I did some stuff on it, so we can look back in the Geeky
Okay.
Cool archives and pull up. But I even went to the premiere of it because I knew her, and I'm like, this is not usually my genre, but I'm here to support you. And it was a lot of fun. It was a very, very well done movie. You can definitely see her love for 80s and 90s horror and kind of how she loves Scream because you could see some of the things not mimic Scream, but you're like, okay, somebody who I know loves that movie. I can see how you got there. That's kind of cool. So, but yeah, I think it was just called Halloween or Halloween. I'll have to look for it. I know what it is. It's not Halloween as like the big Halloween movies, but
Yeah.
because anyway,
So,
but that's getting off of Army Darkness. Let's get back to that real quick. Talk a little bit about how it did, because it did. Oh my gosh, where was it on the amount of money it made here?
It was made for 11 million.
Yeah, it was made for 11 million, but how much did it gross? I thought I had that here. Anyway, so made for 11 million.
21, 22 million, something like that.
Okay.
So it doubled its production cost, which isn't bad.
No, and I think it did pretty well I think it did pretty well in video rentals and then all of that. So it's streaming services. So I think it's still making money. But yes, you're right. It looks like it brought in 11.5 million worldwide, about 10 million coming from the US. I thought it, and then it earned an additional 10 million. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Anyway, so anyway,
Danny Elfman did the score too.
I was going to point that out. So I had not noticed that until this viewing of it. As I'm listening to it, going, this is familiar. For those that don't know, Danny Elfman did movies such as Edward Scissorhands, The Batman, and Batman Returns. They may have done some more. Beetlejuice. So he was also the lead singer of the 80s synth pop band Oingo Boingo. Danny Elfman.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So, once their band quit touring and putting out albums and they broke up, he went and started doing scores, and now he's considered to be one of the great ones. If you can, get a Danny Elfman score, you're really doing something, and something with if it has a weird vibe to it, like most Tim Burton stuff does, with the Batman movies and all of that. So. But Elfman did that, which made me happy because I'm like, I've learned something new watching it. Danny Elfman did the tracks for it there. So cool. Let's talk a little about reviews people have for this because I find this interesting. IMDb gave it a solid 7.4, so nothing. It's not considered to be great, but it's definitely not bad. People like it in general. You've got Rotten Tomatoes, and of course, Rotten Tomatoes has the two different meters: the tomato meter and the popcorn meter. Tomato meter being your critics, which give it a 69%. Not very good there, but that's where they come from. The audience and people that have seen it and seen the movie gave it an 86%. So people generally do like it for that, but critics didn't like it nearly as much. Letterboxd gave it a 3.7 out of 5. That's a pretty good review. And Google says that of people that have reviewed it, it was at 92% people liked it. So scores all over the place there for it.
Yeah. I'll read one here that I found. Blending almost nonstop violence with humorous parody, Sam Raimi's latest excursion into horror kitsch should prove to be a pleaser for the mall trade and perhaps a mite beyond for the mall trade.
I'm assuming people that go to the mall and because at that point movie theaters often were in the mall too, so you would have your teens going to the mall to hang out the mall and then they go see a movie at the theater there. So maybe that's what they're talking about. I'm not totally sure. Sometimes they get a little wordy and try to overstate themselves. So all right, Joe, well, we've talked about what other people think. What do you think of this movie?
I love it. I think it's fun to watch, especially this time of year, but also a good viewing 2 or 3 times a year.
Most definitely.
I'll give it an A-.
All right. I'm right there with you. This is one that I own this. I bring it out every so often. If I'm feeling just I just want something silly, but a little intense at points and something quotable. This is a movie that's right there on my list, so I bring it out at least yearly, if not more often. I also give it an A- because it's just pure fun. pure fun. It gives you what you're looking for. If you're looking for scary, yes. You're looking for comedy, yes. If you're looking for dark fantasy, yes. It brings all that in. It mixes them all together in such a way that it's hard to complain about the this in as a fan, as
Yeah.
somebody who enjoys movies. Now, critics, I can see why critics didn't love this movie. There's so many
Yeah.
little things, but that's the movies for you, right? So
That's what a
critics are
critic.
going to be critical. All right. Any other last words you want to have for this one, Joe?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. So this is our last one in our horror run for Halloween. We probably will be throwing in some other horror ones as we go throughout the year. I'm planning on having us watch Trains, Planes, and Automobiles sometime in November, probably a little closer to Thanksgiving, since that is
Okay.
kind of the standard Thanksgiving movie, and we can watch that, review that for you guys. But let us let us know if there is something that you want us to review. We are happy to take that, take suggestions. We've had a couple of reviews from people that have watched the show and say, hey, you guys should review this movie. So we've done that. So love to have your input. Let us know what you think. Hope you guys like Army of Darkness. Let us know if you don't. Let us know if you think we're crazy thinking this movie's a fun, good movie. But anyway, hopefully nobody will think it's too crazy. But anyway, for Joe and I, thank you guys very much for tuning in. Have a great night and stay geeky and watch movies out there, everybody.